Hello, thank you for coming for this interview. It's good to see you. Let me ask you a couple of questions.
Hello, from Riyadh.
So, again, thank you for agreeing for this interview. And the first question is, during your tenure at Interpol, you emphasized the importance of regional cooperation in tackling cybercrime. How do you assess Kazakhstan's progress in strengthening its cybersecurity infrastructure and its cooperation with neighboring Central Asian countries to counter transnational threats?
I mean, we all have to understand that the threat regarding cybercrime is only increasing, unfortunately. We see the numbers actually exploding everywhere around the world. And the only way to successfully address this type of crime, which of course is borderless by nature, is building strong partnerships. And we can see that in the region. I remember a lot of important meetings that Kazakhstan has been hosting, allowing for building those alliances across law enforcement in the region, but also beyond, and building alliances also with the private sector, which is extremely important because a lot of relevant information for successful investigations into criminal activity sits with the private sector. A second area where I see Kazakhstan quite strong, of course, is helping other countries to build the necessary capacity to effectively tackle that type of crime. So which means training activities, providing necessary resources, equipment that is needed to conduct investigations. So a lot is going on in that part of the world, and the stronger and the more globally expanded that network against the networks of crime is, the stronger we are as a global community in our response.
And yeah, great, thanks. And now let's get to the second question. And the second question is, Kazakhstan has often been recognized for its active role in counterterrorism and cross-border policy. From your perspective, what unique strengths or initiative has Kazakhstan brought to the global law enforcement community that could serve as model for other countries?
I think it is the active participation I have seen during my term in office from 2014 to 2024, when Kazakhstan, of course, was a very active member, taking important roles in all Interpol activities. That did include operations, of course, that did include capacity building and training, and that also did include looking a little bit into the future, trying to be ahead of the curve and trying to anticipate what criminals might do next. And it's very much also playing an active role in conducting operations in the region and beyond, based on the sharing of relevant intelligence, coordinating activities amongst law enforcement agencies in the region, and then, of course, executing the plan and bringing criminals behind bars.
Great, thank you. And now let's get to the third question. And the third question is, as emerging technologies transform both crime and law enforcement, what lessons from Interpol's work should guide future efforts to build regional resilience against terrorism or cyber-enabled crimes?
I mean, it is looking ahead, because we can clearly see that time is our enemy in law enforcement. But not only in law enforcement, we can see that, of course, criminals are using, for instance, the new tools of artificial intelligence already now as we speak. So more sophisticated phishing emails that are attacking our private lives, let's say, our companies, and sometimes even critical infrastructures. The so-called synthetic media, deep fakes, for instance, that are already used by criminals. This is already a reality, and we need not only to be prepared, but we have to check to which extent law enforcement can use the same tools to be in a position to counter those activities conducted by criminal groups. So looking into the future, making sure that legislation, regulation, law enforcement, setting up capacity building, for instance, are following with the same speed. That should be our goal, is of extremely importance, and doing that in strong partnerships with your neighboring countries, but also using the capabilities and the platform actually that Interpol is providing to the region, to the Asian region, for instance, but also connecting all regions around the globe, because they all have the same problem. Sometimes they are being attacked by the same groups. So standing together, using this platform, actively sharing information and coordinating the response, this is key to addressing this threat in the most effective way.
And now let's get to our last question, which specifically concerns Kazakhstan. As you know, Kazakhstan has seriously committed to the development of AI and its cyber infrastructure. In particular, in his latest address to the people of Kazakhstan, President Kassym-Jomart Tokayev announced the creation and establishment of the Ministry of AI. In your opinion, what room for opportunities and challenges does it provide, and what challenges should we expect on this path?
I think the challenge is speed, and again, I can only commend the government for taking that step, because I deeply believe that artificial intelligence will be a massive game changer also regarding the security of cyberspace and other areas. So as always, there are the two sides of the coin. There is an area which definitely will bring prosperity and will support development, but there's also, let's say, the dark side of new technology. And regarding artificial intelligence, it is definitely the use of AI system, agentic AI, let's say, criminal autopilots that are being used to attack our societies on an industrial scale and technically very sophisticated. So setting up such a specialized office definitely helps not only to be prepared, but to have the same pace in development and to make sure that all the systems, all the IT infrastructure, but also private citizens, very often the most vulnerable in our societies, young people, the elderly community on the one side, but also the critical infrastructures of our countries on the other side, they need the protection, and we also have to use artificial intelligence to improve our response, our defense against these criminals who try to exploit and using, let's say, the dark side of digitalization.
Well, thank you again for your deep insights and this wonderful conversation. That was my pleasure to have you at this interview. Goodbye.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.